So this morning I got up and I was looking for something to turn on. I was gonna start doing my drawings and stuff like that, but I was drinking my cup of tea. Oh, I wanted to say also, if there's somebody who is wanting to get off of pharmaceuticals and they're struggling and they don't want to smoke weed, they have this still, this, oh, it's still a drug. It's a drug, because that's what they've told people for so long. They've just pounded in people's head. It's a fucking plant. But if you are, nervous and you don't even want to try the edibles, but you really want to get off the pharmaceuticals and you want to see the benefits and stuff, you can look it up. There's a lot of benefits, and if you find a medical, a distribution place, but a lot of states there it's not even legal yet. They don't even have those. But there is where you can buy stuff if it's hemp based, so they don't have the THC in it, and it's CBD though. And so my daughter has sent me this Christmas, like it was two daughters and son-in-law sent me like a whole little package of all sorts of stuff, really cool stuff. And one of the things was these joints, and also a tea, like a whole bunch of, it looks like flowers and all sorts of stuff. It's really cool looking tea. And these joints, and they're just like little half-gram. They're pretty small, and they're the same price as if you go to the weed store and you buy stuff that has THC in it. But you can buy it. You should be able to buy it from anywhere, and it's Arizona based, and it's let me see real quick. I'll get it. See, it's called Sacred Smoke Herbals, and it has, I'll tell you what's in it. It has, it's made with hemp flowers, holy basil leaf, Indian warrior buds, skull cap, wild lettuce, lemon balm, rolled in organic hemp cones. So see, it's all just a bunch of plants. And so I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to try these because I love to smoke, and I just love the smoking. I never knew I would like smoking so much. But like, I don't want to just, you smoke weed, sometimes it just makes your head just feel fuzzy. And so, I was like, oh, cool, I would really like to try these because I really enjoy smoking. And she's like, oh, I know you do. And so anyways, I got these and I tried them, and I thought, okay, I'm going to see, because my neck and my hands are all fucked because I'm just like, I'm either crocheting or I'm drawing, and I'm all like, my hands are just, I said, well, I'm going to try it and see how it works. And so I did, and it really does have a really good effect. It really did make, like, whatever was hurting at the time, if it was my neck, and it was like hard to turn. And then I smoked a couple hits off of one of those, and it made it go away. So that's the thing with our plant-based medicine. But see, all of this medical that they are trying to keep us trapped in is not based on health or healthy things. It's based on, making money for administrators and CEOs and all that nonsense. It's the biggest funneling towards the big pharma, getting richer, richer, richer. But all those people, they just put stock. They're all so fucking criminal. So disgusting. But anyways, and then there's also a tea. I don't even know what all they have, but, she got this from it's a facial store. It was a place that you go, I don't know, I wouldn't say like a spa, but she has a lot of treatments and stuff. And she has a lot of healthy herbal kind of stuff. And she got them there. But I feel positive you could order these online, no matter what state, because there's nothing in them, and they really do have a good benefit. It has a lot of natural stuff in it. So if you're trying to get off the pharmaceuticals, which I recommend, because they're poisoning, like, even if they tell you it's fixing this over here, it's fucking poisoning the rest of you. But and then you go in and you got a problem over here, and they say, oh, well, now you're just falling apart. You're getting older. Let's look into it. Let's see what we can do. We got some pills. We'll try those. That's all they fucking do. But so what I was going to say besides that was, so this morning I put on, and there was this lady, and she was doing a class on the major arcana of the tarot. And I've done one of those before, a long time ago. I went to a class. This is the cool thing when you have friends that are different than you. Like this friend was somebody who was it was a nurse I worked with, and she was a Wicca. That's what she called herself, a Wicca person. And I've never known anybody who was a witch person before. And so, I'd hang out with her, and she told me a lot of stuff about the nature. Like I understood more about what Wicca was after being friends with her, and it's not like satanic witchcraft. It's like the Wicca people, it's like alchemy and nature and, using your own power and energy and stuff like that. So, it totally makes sense. And it's just people who are focused on it, a way of doing it or something. But anyway, she was the one who was interested in this tarot class. I didn't even know it existed. And she asked me if I wanted to go with her. And I was like, yeah, that'd be interesting. I like to go get my cards read or something. I'd like to know how to do it. And it was hard. Like I had a hard time understanding it and stuff. It was, and I wrote it down, still got all my book and stuff. Then because then I started doing tarot later, and I had other books and I was reading it. But I don't know, the way this woman explained it, all of a sudden was like, oh my God, this is the path to enlightenment. It starts with the Fool, and all of the different steps is your road to enlightenment. And she was talking about it's the same path in every experience in life. You do the same kind of path. But what I heard overall was the path to enlightenment is the path that we are on in life. And yeah, it's going to happen in every single situation because it is a life path. It is the path to lead you to who you are. And along the path is how you figure out who you are. It is like the Wizard of Oz, she had to figure out who she was by the people who she met along the way. Then it shows you who you are. And that's what our whole life journey is about. The people who you meet show you who you are. And, but we're in this place where everybody is always looking outside of themselves. So it's kind of messed up how our perspective is upside down. But when all of this stuff starts really flipping itself right side up, which I think it is still, it's doing it. It's just slow. It's just slow. It's so slow. And it's like, God, come on. Can't something happen faster? Like, do we have to just, it's frustrating. But, and it is kind of like the ship thing, and it is turned the other direction, but it is so slow of getting us headed, at any kind of speed. So it's still things crumbling away. There's still all of this stuff, it's going to keep being exposed. But when we get to that part where it actually is, people see the truth. They see things clearly. It's not upside down anymore. Then it's going to be a different approach to life because they just have everything so flipped around right now. So yeah, people look outside of themselves. They think, this person is doing this, and if they didn't do that, then I would be okay. If I need to go out and get this person to like me and that person to like me, I need to change this about me, everybody's just trying to fit in and adapt. And that's why people are so frustrated. People are just frustrated. They're sick of having to give up who they are to try and fit into society. When what is society doing? What is it doing back? It's definitely not, being productive and helping us feel good. It's up to us to take control of that, and it's how we look at things. It's all in how we look at things. It's all in ourselves. And, another thing too is yesterday I had seen this headline. I think the guy's name is Aaron Alke or something like that. It's 2 A's, and I feel positive one of the first name is Aaron. And I've seen his stuff come up a lot of times. He always talks about the Book of One. And yesterday he had a thing up, and it said something about the Book of One and what Ra says about the harvest or something. I can't remember what the title, and it could be old. I think he had just posted it though. And I turned it on for like a second just to see, because he has a lot of good knowledge about the Book of One. He's very focused on it. If you're interested about the Book of One, but don't forget, if you are going to somebody else, you're getting it through their eyes. You're getting their perspective. Just like if you listen to anything I say, you're getting my perspective. You got to go in and look into things for yourself and develop your own perspective. See how you see it. See how it fits together for you. Because we're all different. We're all unique. And we're all on our own individual paths. So one of the things that he said, which I completely could get where he was coming from, but I look at it kind of differently. So that's what I wanted to say, because he was saying that as long as you are feeling negative about this three-dimensional matrix and you feel like you don't want to be here and you want out of it and you just want to leave it, then he said you are still struggling with the three-dimensional matrix, and that will bind you to it. And I thought, that was, I feel like he was just, like I've said before, it feels like to me when I hear other people say stuff, it seems like we're all saying the same kind of things, but we say it a little bit different. And that's why I think it's important to go and get a lot of different perspectives, because a certain perspective will speak to you, to your heart and soul, just like that lady doing that tarot. All of a sudden it was like, oh my God, I just saw something I never saw before. And, and that happens all the time. You go hear somebody and, people can say something that you have heard 100 times, but all of a sudden they say it, and the way they say it, all of a sudden it clicks. And you're like, oh, fuck, I get it. So it's important to go, don't just listen to one person, listen to a lot of people, go out and do a lot of research and figure your perspective out. But on mine, see, I look at it as that you need to, it is a recognition of this life experience, right? You need to see what this world is all about. And then you need to want more for yourself. It's the desire to want more for yourself, to know what you deserve and what is in your power to have. And I think that there is nothing wrong with not wanting to. I mean, you got to get out of the good bad thing. Like I've talked about that a lot of times. You can't just be good or bad. Like I see this place as hell, but that doesn't mean I see it as hell. And I see it as being a lot of negative, toxic, I do see it as like it's bad, a bad place to be. But everything bad has good. So you have good on everything that's bad. It all depends on how you look at it. Are you focused on the bad part? Or are you focused on the good part? And so if you focus on the good part, then you can see like, oh, okay, life has given me a lot of challenges. This three-dimensional matrix has developed me into who I am. And I'm ready to take off, out as the butterfly. I'm ready to leave the cocoon. I'm ready to figure myself out in a new way. I feel healed and happy and accepted myself. And I can be around all sorts of people that are different than me, and I can accept them. I don't feel like I need to change them. I don't feel angry when they talk. I don't feel irritated by their beliefs. I feel whole and complete, and I can accept others. And that is, so it is a recognition of the purpose, and it's coming to terms with what this experience is for and what it's about. But there is a part where you have to want to break free and want more for yourself. The butterfly can't just stay in the cocoon forever and be like, oh, if I leave the cocoon, that's, I'm leaving my home, and this is there's a mental trap there. You know, I feel you need to be able to say, hey, this isn't what I want. This is, you know, these aren't the lessons I need anymore. I'm ready for new lessons. I'm ready to leave this. But you don't have to be like, oh, I hate it. It sucks. Because then you probably aren't seeing the benefits. You probably aren't seeing, you know, how it's transformed you. And that is the important thing about a soul journey too. When you go in and you start really trying to understand about your soul journey, not just this life experience, but your soul and what it's gone through and how it's become who you are and connecting with your soul. And that is when you get to this part of being able to accept things as lessons. You don't have like this anger towards them. See, all of that anger and resentment, you can't hold it to the matrix, the three-dimensional you can't hold on to that anger. Like I've said before, all of that stuff will keep you from entering the gates of the age of Aquarius, because you can't go through with baggage. You have to heal those things. You can't hold on to this three-dimensional world and be angry at it and mad. And it's going to do that. It's going to push that hard, but that is going to be pushed hard on you so that you can heal that stuff, because you got to heal it. You got to come to terms. You got to find balance in what has happened in whatever, you know, of your life, because there's so much happening in so many people's lives. It's impossible to try and cover it all, you know. But when you can look at it and you can say, hey, you know, I've learned a lot. Like I can look at old relationships and not have anger and resentment towards those people. I can look at them and just be like, you know, I was in that place. That's who I was at that time. And I have learned a lot from those relationships, and it's transformed me as a person, and it's benefited me, and I feel good in my life. And that is like how you can come to terms, but it's a process. And it happened when I was doing my dark night, is when I was able to all of a sudden see that all of these things that I had gone through, they had made me who I was, and it was all for my benefit. It wasn't all these bad things that happened to me to tear me down. It was really all things that I took as bad because I was not in a healed position. I was struggling in my life. And so it felt just like more trauma, more, you know, like life is just beating me up. Like, but then when I got to the point where I could look at it and go, oh my gosh, it helped me develop into who I am, a person of acceptance and compassion and caring and empathy and trust and love and, you know, wanting to be in unity, like, you know, be accepting of other people. So it is, you know, I just, I don't know. I've definitely heard people saying that, like, I just want out of the three-dimensional, fuck this and all that stuff. And, but yeah, then you are looking at, you're holding on to anger and stuff and holding on to resentment. You're probably holding on to some kind of wound that you think came from this, matrix or something. But so it's just a wound, it's just a trigger, it's just something for you to go in and look at, because you do want to get to a place where it's just like you can look at it and go, oh, you know, like looking back on a vacation and go, oh man, a lot of shit happened in that vacation, but overall that was quite an adventure, wasn't it? So that is where, you know, if you can get to that part, you know, like make that your goal of coming to that recognition in your life, to just be able to look back on it and see it as an adventure, you know, not that you were a victim and not that you were victimizing, that you were learning and experiencing, and it's time to take your lessons and start developing. Oh, and another thing too, I'll say real quick is, so today I was sitting here, you know, I was crocheting this morning, you know, and all of a sudden I felt like I was just a light out in space. Like space, if you think of space as being just like empty, like an empty space. Like, so hard to explain stuff because there's so much manipulation of how we see things and words and stuff. But if you think of it as just an empty space, and I'm sitting here in my chair with the lights on, and I'm just in empty space. I'm not in a building, on a street, in a neighborhood with all of these different people, on a globe and all that stuff. I'm just this light in space. And there's all these other beings around watching. They're watching and picking up on the energy, sending you information, asking questions, trying to understand what the experience is about. As an observer, the watchers, they're watching us, and they're all around us. And it's not out of scary, it's out of observation. They're just watching. And we are also observers. We are also watchers. They're just souls. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were talking about, the reptilians and the different people in politics and stuff like that. And, because we were talking about karma and balance and stuff. And it seems like some people think that if your soul is in a different avatar, like only humans have karma or have to keep things in balance or something, that other souls don't have the same kind of, there's a universal law. There's God's law. There's the law of life. It is, I don't know how to explain it, but it's the law of creation. It is what holds you to being a part of it. Like there's rules, Here they make their own rules, laws, and then they come up with police, and they come up with licenses and all their bullshit. But in truth, there is, God's law, if you want to call it that. It's the law of life, what your soul has to, the restrictions of your soul. And yeah, you do have beings that don't have short life cycles. They're alive for a long, 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 long time. Like there is, I've heard that the Anunnaki that are going to be returning, that it's the same ones that created us. That's how long these motherfuckers live, so they don't go right in and have to deal with the karma or whatever. Plus there's I don't even know when it gets up to in other, like to me, I would think that it would have to be a more enlightened being to be able to be in the higher dimensions. Like some of these come down into the lower, like three-dimensional place. But I think some of these beings are more trapped in the three-dimensional because they can't go further out because of what they carry, the toxicity they carry in themselves. So they can't go out in the higher dimensions, because you would bring in like a disease of the mind, the disease of the heart, whatever. You would bring in disease into a more pure place. And so, when here our life cycles have been depleted so that we would be, slaves, and we would try and not, it was, if they keep us like in a fast rotation, then you don't really have a lot of time to, develop yourself and to understand yourself. You're just trying to survive. You're just trying to make it. It's like from the moment you're born, programming starts and the enslavement begins. So, and they do it in all these little short lives. So, there's a lot more experience about having to learn about keeping things in balance. Because if you go and you fuck up a lot of shit, you got to go put it back in balance. You can't go in and just drop bombs in people's lives and then, wipe your hands of it. No, there's a karmic tie. You are tied to them. Once you're energetically linked like that, And if you've set things out of motion in whatever direction, you have to put it back into balance. And that is why I think like people who are enlightened souls try and stay very centered. So, is to not get those kind of karmic debts, if you want to call it that, and not be entangled energetically with other people in those kinds of ways, because you stay more pure of the spirit. You're only dealing with your own karma and stuff like that, your own lessons, and keeping your own self in balance. But so some of these beings that are super old, yeah, they don't go in and die as fast as us and have to deal with that stuff. But a lot of them are like warring beings. They're warring with other ones. And that's why they're, down here trying to take us over. But they, I don't think that they can, they're more like trapped. There's ones like you could have reptilians that are also, higher minded, just like you can have any kind of being that is higher minded, focused on spirituality, focused on the whole rather than the self. And because it is so much about focusing on the self, but also the whole. But it's coming at it from a different perspective than how they want you to focus on the whole and not focus on yourself. People are, when I look at stuff and I think about like when I was talking about eating healthy and trying to be thin, and I got labeled, eating disorder, anorexic, and stuff like that. Like, this society wants to keep us fat and unhealthy. They don't want us to care about our health. I mean, and you'll get bullied into submission every chance that they get. They've got like, it's the way that they word things. It's their stomach's totally growling. It's the way they word things and in their programming to get people's reaction in a certain direction. So that's why, you're trying to do something you feel like is good for you, and then you're getting attacked for it, and, people want to turn us into narcissistic, if you care about yourself, then, but it's a totally different kind of thing. It's very different, but, you have to start going out there for your own self and trying to understand and put it all together for you. Because, there's no way to explain it to some of this stuff to somebody, because you have to experience it. You have to understand it on that kind of level. It's just words if I'm saying it. When you experience it, you feel it, you actually learn it. So, anyways, there was another thing I wanted to say too. I wrote down a couple of things. Let's see. Maybe that was all of the things. I keep having all these things like fly into my head. Say this, say this, say this. But anyways, I don't know. Maybe the Anunnaki are going to be coming back. Maybe they are going to all be like 35,000 years old, 50,000 years old. I don't even know, because I don't believe there's any congruency to time. I don't believe that. I think that these realities and these ages have all been separate realities. I think they're probably all happening at once, and it's just where we're focused. Just like, in reality, I am just a projection, and I'm witnessing my own projection as others are witnessing it as well. That's the thing, is these people who think like they can go and get away with stuff. It's so crazy. I think, oh yeah, nobody's looking. I'm just going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. You have got the whole universe is watching you. The whole universe. Yeah. And that is why when people come, into the life review and they feel all judged, it's them they're judging themselves. Everybody else is just observing or watching. You're showing who you are. You're showing what you're all about. They're just observing you. So, but you're being watched all the time. There's no getting away from anything. There's no tricking people and having them think you're one way and you're a different way. People used to do that all the time. I think people still do. you know, they put on whatever mask they think people want them to have on, or whatever mask they think is going to get them the most acknowledgement. But, you know, the best thing to do is just take off all the masks and be yourself. If people don't accept you, you don't need to be around those people. And the people that do accept you, those are the people that you want to be around, because those are more in alignment with how you see things. So, yeah, it's funny all the time when I think about these people who are doing all this stuff and they think like they're getting away with something. There's nothing. And people get so irritated, like, oh, they're getting away with it. They're going to get away with it. There's nothing, not a damn thing you get away with. There is no. It is just it's like in life, you're on the CCTV all the time. And then you're just living your life, you know, you think you're getting away with something. And then you're going to go into your life review and they're going to play the footage back. So, yeah, there's no getting away from anything. And that's why it's important to be, you know, pure spirit, and to, you know who you are and live your truth. So anyways, I will go, but I will come back if I hear anything about what's going on. I did get up early this morning and went straight to my phone. It's scary, you know, what's going on. And when you have people who are sick, and I know a lot of people have people who are sick, you know, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're trying to kill us. So we're all having people who are sick around us. We're all trying to figure it out. And, you know, and it's sad that they've got people this sick and then they're taking them right to the damn ass gas chamber, because that's where everybody's dying. That's where people die. So anyways, we will we'll get through this part, and you know, just have faith and try and focus on the positive side. You know, trying everything that we have happening. Yeah, there's a big, dark, deep, you know, there's a monster side to it. But try and look past the monster and look on the other side and see the good side. Because if we focus on the good and we stop focusing on the bad, then the bad stops existing. You know, it's up to us. We have to do that. We have to change. It's us that makes the change. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.